This is our video about front kicks, everything you need to know about our levels of front kick. There are 3 kinds of front kick and a couple of variations that you need to know in order for the students to be proficient. The first thing we're going to talk about is the difference between our 3 main variations of front kick. So our pushing kick or our teep kick has our heel make contact and then pressing forward with the ball of the foot. So our heel touches, ball of the foot presses. We're at the middle of the solar plexus, is the middle of the body, maybe even the tops of the knees, so at the quadriceps. But the goal is to shove forward. You're creating almost like this pressing motion with the heel and the ball of the foot, one after the other. As you do your kick, as with all of our kicks, your bottom foot's going to rotate 90 degrees. Wherever it's pointing, 90-degree turn. Knee comes up, toes pull up, pressing forward, out and forward. You're going to create a lot of this, what feels like pressing motion out the target as you rotate your base and press into your target. Okay, that's pretty good. That's a teep kick. We'll use that from time to time, but that kind of pushes our opponent. It's not the main kind of kick we do. Next, we have a groin kick. This is the top of the foot front kick. Same thing, I'm going to be rotating my base, but now I'm using the top of my foot. My knee points, I'm snapping and swinging up towards the ceiling. Almost as if I'm kicking a ball, but instead of the ball being on the ground, the ball's at hip level. Kicking a soccer ball up into the ceiling. One more time. I want to make sure I'm hinging at the knee, using the top of my foot or my shin to swing up and hit my target. Now, those variations are useful and we'll talk about them. The Eagles oftentimes use the groin kick variation. A lot of our beginners end up pushing with their heel on the bottom of their foot, like the teep kick or the defensive front kick. It's another name for the same kind of kick. But a majority of the time we're doing what's called a traditional front kick. We're going to pick up our heel. Our goal is to use the ball of our foot from the ground to target. So the whole time my ball of the foot is leading the motion, my ankles flex forward. I often tell the kids it's as if you were wearing a high heel shoe. And of course, everyone gets a little bit of a laugh, right? Because you show them this pressure on the balls of my feet as if I'm doing a calf raise is how my foot is extending at the end of my front kick. Okay, so then let's talk about the main parts of our traditional front kick. Toes are pointing at my target, back heel's off the ground. I'm driving my knee as close to my stomach as possible. The knee leads the motion. Now, if you've seen some of our other videos, a knee is the same motion. I'm driving my knee and hip forward into target, so actually, if you know how to do your knee, you're already most of the way there to your front kick. Bottom foot still pivots 90 degrees as I reach the apex. And then, front kick. We're doing this front kick, we want a large snapping motion. We talk about levels of kicks. We have 1, 2, and 3 front kicks. When we kick with our front leg, we call that a number 1 front kick. When I kick with my back leg, that's called our number 2 front kick. It's the one we're most commonly using. It's the one we're using the board break. Anytime we do front kicks as a cycle in any of our testing curriculums, back leg front kick is probably the one that we're going to choose to help the kids understand the mechanics of the front kick. Finally, we have number 3, which is a travel forward and pivoting the base front kick. Right? Again, always hinging at the knee, always driving your hip forward. If you have any more questions about the front kick, we'll cover a little bit more when we do jump front kicks. We'll cover more when we cover specialty kicks. There's a lot of variations to every kick, but what you need to know is that front kick and side kick are your 2 most basic kicks. So if you know front kick extremely well, you're halfway there to learning every kick available to you in martial arts. Between the front kick and the side kick, everything else is just a variation, just a little adjustment or a change. Front kick is vital to your training. If you haven't yet, spend an extra 10 minutes tonight working on your front kick. Spend an extra 10 minutes tomorrow morning just pivoting your base, getting your hips moving, extending out with your knee, keeping your hands up. These little things are going to make a big difference. And in class, ask your instructor for any extra details. They might talk about your trajectory, your follow through, your joint position, all things that can take you to the next level of your training towards your black belt or beyond. I'll see you later.